Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Water Cooler. I am Sarah from Texas, and this is our place to chat all the latest reality TV, I guess celebrity news. There's not much. And Jeff Lewis Live. Oh my gosh, I hope you're having an amazing day. I have been too busy to take a shower yet, but I will take a shower right after this because I did take my walk this morning. So let's see. I've got 7,526 steps. I think I only did like a 45-minute walk today. I try to do an hour, but anyway, so I guess I don't really walk that much during the day. I mean, I think I kind of lounge in bed. I guess stepping from the sink to the dishwasher into the laundry room and back isn't enough. So whatever, it is what it is. Trust me, it ain't going to get any better in the winter because I definitely become a bed girl in the winter because I can't stand the cold. I'm just whatever. Shout out, everybody. Hello, JC and Tiffany Chump and Auntie and Krista and May Boo. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you're having an amazing day so far. And if not, let's have a restart. I am so inspired by Dr. Beverly D'Angelo. I thought she was so good. Okay, so let's get in. Yes, definitely hibernate the winter for sure. Okay. There's not much going on, but Tamra Judge is in the news yet again. No, not for her fake apologies, whatever, but she's saying she's on the spectrum. That is not sitting well with, let's say anyone, especially anyone that is actually on the spectrum for autism or has a family member or a friend. It ain't flying. It sounds very self-involved. It's screaming deflection. It's screaming pity me. It's screaming this is an excuse for my horrific behavior. And like the caller, I think somebody called in on the Jeff Lewis Extended, who's a mother of a kid who has autism. And she really took offense to it because she's like, no. Don't act like everyone who has autism is an asswipe like Tamra Judge. So speaking of asswipe, I can't even see her stuff because I guess she blocked me a week or two ago. So thank you for the chumpettes that send me the DMs, posted in the Sarah from Texas Facebook group, because I was able to see her, announcement. And y'all were sending, or maybe you put it in the Facebook group, a TikTok of somebody's, and I looked up the name. I could never pull it up and see it. It was showing me everybody else's video but that one. So I don't know if whoever that account was had me blocked, but whatever it was, I couldn't see that TikTok. Luckily, I eventually found it. I think Bravo and Cocktails reposted the two T's in a pod clip where she's telling Teddy, I found out did she call it bad news or big news? I can't remember what she called it. But anyways, she's basically saying it's an ongoing thing. She's not dealing with the diagnosis very well. In comments, she did tell someone, because everyone was saying a therapist cannot diagnose you with autism on the first visit. She did tell someone in comments, or she agreed, said I did, or something like that, go to a psychotherapist or whatever the real evaluation is for autism. But she's basically saying it means she has no empathy for others. Like she can't feel bad for anyone else. And I'm like, yeah, that's how we've seen you on Real Housewives of OC forever. Oh my goodness. Jeff Lewis is going to have her on. I think he said October 21st. So he is reserving judgment. He wants to get it from her mouth, figure out what she says. So that will be an interesting show for sure. But it just screamed ick, right? It just screamed, plus the fact that she blocked me. I'm like, man up, dude. You know what I mean? Man up. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah. Y'all are saying that people are, hello. I thought I saw, I don't know why I saw. Okay. Hey, Yvonne Gal and Marla and Michael Riley. Hello. Okay. Andy Cohen Live. So I try to listen to him every day, but it's a lot. Again, it's 4 hours of content because he's on Monday through Thursday. I think on Tuesdays in general and Thursdays, they pre-record that on Monday. So I'm assuming John Hill was still in St. Louis yesterday when they pre-recorded this, because yesterday, Andy bitched and moaned about the exact same thing that he bitched and moaned about today, first thing, top of the show. And I thought he sounded fine, but he basically tells John, babe, which I hate when he calls him babe, because I'm like, y'all aren't dating, and it just sounds condescending. It sounds like I'm the boss. And I'm like, y'all are, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's called Andy Cohen Live. So why is it called that? Why does he need to have a co-host? Why, whatever. Anyways, but he says, babe, you're talking too close to the mic. So, of course, it's kind of like being reprimanded in front of your friends and family or coworkers instead of, uh, maybe even have a producer hold up a sign or do something. They're on video with each other, even though he's in St. Louis and he's in New York City. So he gets an attitude. They start bickering, which is exactly how I like starting out Andy Cohen Live, because I like to bitch and moan about Andy being mean to John Hill because I love John Hill so much. And I love that John stands up for himself, like up against kind of like, the big guy, Andy Cohen, up against John Hill. John's like, dude, I used to date you. Like, I'm good. Like, I'll stand up for me. You know what I mean? For sure. Krista says Andy is clearly the boss. I mean, you can hear it even on the interview that they were doing with Henry Winkler. And anytime they do a big interview, they talk about how silent, who was it recently? It was a girl. Because they were saying that he made, maybe it was Henry Winkler. I'm getting confused, but they always talk, he gets silent. Like there's no video for it. So we never see if he goes away or if he takes a potty break, whatever. But I feel like Andy could incorporate John Hill into the interview, into the conversation with the celebrities that he brings on. So today was Henry Winkler, which was kind of obnoxious, even though I really do like him. He just wanted to promote his book. And I'm like, something about a duck, like not country duck, Dr. Duck. I don't remember what it was. He practically gave the entire plot away. And I'm like, okay, we get it. But, let's face it. We all want to talk about Fonzie. We want to talk about your other stuff you've done. He gave some good tea about that he's good friends with Sylvester Stallone. I mean, but he kept wanting to go back to the book. And I'm like, dude, I mean, I get it, but we want to hear about other stuff. Yes, Rebecca said, I mean, he's begging people to listen to that because he begged his mom yesterday. I forgot to put lipstick on. I only have chapstick, so I have zero color in my face, y'all. Rebecca says, does anyone know if Andy's interview with Connie Chung is going to be aired? I'm assuming it's one of those that you can search for, but I have no idea. It was definitely on. You know what? Matter of fact, I heard him telling, let's see, October 3rd. No, that's what the F. Gosh, she does a lot of podcasts. Or her name is coming up a lot. Well, shoot, I don't know. A quick search of Connie Chung, brings up a lot of stuff. So I don't know. I would say DM Andy Cohen, but I don't know if he accepts DMs. I have no idea. But it feels like, so it is an interview on the SiriusXM app. So if you're better, Tiffany Chump says, so if you're better at Googling on the Sirius or searching on the SiriusXM app, it was on there for sure. Yeah, so they worked together a long time ago at CBS. So I love him and Connie's relationship. I heard part of it, not when it was live, but the next morning. But I definitely heard him tell the producer, Jordan, to next time they have like a day that they're off to air that because he really wants more people to hear it. So I think it was really good. And he also says that her husband, Maury Povich, was in the audience. So I love that. Henry Winkler was a good interview. There was just a lot of interrupting. It's like he's used to running the show or something, which is funny because they talked about how mild and meek and how it takes a lot for him to get upset. And he wasn't upset. He wasn't, rude or anything. It was just a lot of talking over each other, which is interesting because he and Andy were in studio together. Like he was coming down the hallway. You know what I mean? Oh, thank you, Sephora. She says, hello, everyone. Thank you, Sarah, for being such a fun person. I mean, I think I'm fun, We'll see, right? I love that. Yay. Rummage D says, hello. Glad to be able to catch you live again. Diane from New York State. I loved it. I know. AR says, I'm so bummed that you won't be at the Jeff Lewis live show in December. Antonia, hello. I adore you. I know. Trust me. I'm more regretting that I'm not forcing myself to go so I can see all my friends that I love. Tiffany Chump. I mean, so many people that I've met and hung out with that. I adore y'all so much. Then he interviewed Ella Blue Travolta. I'm sure you can guess whose daughter that is. She is a singer. She's only 24 years old. She was really a sweet interview, talked about her adoration of her mom and dad so much, how much they've supported her. And, she writes her own music, and a lot of it is about things that are near and dear to her. This album is like 6 songs, and it's called like Color of Love or something like that. So it was very sweet. Very sweet. Oh, I love it. Bravo and Stone says Fonzie. I love that. Fonzie is 78. He's not wasting any time. No, and I love that he's not sitting around. He also talked about oh gosh, what's the mom's name? Mrs. Cunningham, Mrs. C. She's like 94 years old, and she said that he said that she's in like really good mental health. So I love all of that. I love that. Nuke Fine, send me a DM because I can't remember. She's asking what hotel did I stay at in Irvine. I would recommend it, but there's a lot of hotels all around there, all different price ranges that are walkable. Ours was walkable, but I do think we got an Uber back because I think we were in heels and I think our feet were hurting, to be honest with you. But I think everything was pretty much walkable. There's lots of hotels around. No. Wait a minute. Never mind. This is at a completely different location. So never mind. I'm not going to be able to give you good advice because I've never been to Brea Improv. I've only been to what's the other one called? Whatever it's called. Improv. The other one, Irvine Improv, is the only one I've been to. So I don't know about that one. Anyways, okay. It's a very good interview though. So make sure to listen to that. Terrible pretend bank. Move your accounts. What in the actual heck are y'all talking about it? Oh, you had trouble at PNC Bank? I hate them. Oh no. I don't know anything about them. Anyways, sorry. Move your money. That'll make them happy. Okay, let's chat 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way, season 6, episode 16. So it's winding down. So last week, I don't think they showed Statler and Dempsey at all. They're living in the van life. They're the 2 lesbians that are on. They're in France. Statler took a few weeks off her job. So now she needs to finally get her computer up and running. She has a remote job. That is what pays their bills. That is what is going to support them doing this travel around Europe van life thing that they're going to do. She didn't check her equipment. So I think that's on her. I'm sorry. I mean, you can't take 2 weeks off and then realize the outlets don't work for your charger, or, you have no cell service. You have to know that different areas of the town that you're in France are going to have better or worse cell service. So I feel like she's getting pissy at Dempsey, and I didn't love that at all because I really wanted them to work out, but it's already ruined for me because I already know based on Statler's TikTok lives that they're not together. And I feel like she might be suing them. I told y'all a few weeks ago, I asked in comments if it's true that there's a lawsuit, and she, during her TikTok live, and Statler said, I can't discuss that because of the lawsuit. And I'm like, oh, well, okay, you definitely have a lawsuit then. So it's disappointing. I really like them. Oh no, I'm wondering if she's the problem. And I hate to say that because she's from the Dallas area. She's so pretty. Her eyes are beautiful. Her skin is amazing. Ann T says, I don't like Statler. So I don't know. They are definitely, I think they needed some time away. I think living in tight quarters, laying on a bed that's probably not super comfortable. They don't have the comforts of home, if you will, especially Statler. I mean, Dempsey was living, I don't know how long, but Dempsey was living on this farm in like England in like, I don't know if it's an RV or a drivable, something like that. But I think it's a lot for them. Also, I don't know if Dempsey had ever lived with someone. So that's also very different for sure. Ooh, let's not talk about Gabby Petito. No. Yeah, that was an awful situation. Okay, another couple, awful. Josh and Lily. Lily's daughter is like 27 years old. She's coming to meet Josh for the first time ever in person. But she already has an attitude about him because he doesn't have a job. Well, my thoughts are on I get that, and maybe she doesn't love that her mom is, like, providing and going in I wonder if she even knows her mom's going into debt because she's got this fancy house with the elevator that she can't even afford. I mean, she basically said she went into debt for him, and I'm like, "Well, that's not gonna help anyone's relationship, like, going into debt and then holding a grudge and being pissy about it because you feel like, 'Look, I built this beautiful home for us, and I'm in debt.'" Anyways, but he literally cannot work in China. Now, does anyone know the rule? Can he never work in China? Because I know, like, when they come to the US on 90 Day Fiance, there's like, it's about a year maybe where they have to apply for the green card. Then that has to get approved. Then they can work. So that's why they talk about, like, what's the word they use? Funding. I know there's another word, but like you're supporting the person that you bring over on the visa because you're responsible for them. Like, if they get in trouble with the law, you're responsible for them financially, their food. I mean, everything. You're what's the word they use? Um, yeah, it's like sponsoring. You sponsor the person that comes over, right? Sorry, I still have the itchiness. Like this whole area is still itchy from the shingles, and then right there on my eyebrow itches. It's so annoying. Anyways, I know Anne says I don't understand that about not working, but I do think there's countries that don't let other people own stuff. Like I feel like Dubai is one of those. If you're not a Dubai citizen, I don't think you can buy anything. I feel like it's that way in Singapore also, but I might be pulling that out of my ass. I really don't know. Okay, sorry, my eyeball, eye is itching. I know the shingles thing is so annoying. It's crazy. Um, yeah, Cecily says, if you don't have the money, you don't need a dang elevator. Exactly. I feel like, with the pink, I don't even know what kind of car she drives, but the interior is pink. That cannot be cheap. She's always going to like $500 dinners. Now, maybe that's what things in cost in China and where they're at. But if you don't have the money, you can't keep doing that and you can't keep bringing it up to your husband because I feel like they're already legally married and they're just saving, again, another expense for this big wedding. You don't have the money, lady. I don't care if you're a businesswoman. I don't care if you've got all this, whatever. You don't have the money and you keep holding it over Josh's head, which is, again, making him feel guilty. And he's the man. So, of course, he's feeling like obligated to be the breadwinner or at least equal or bring in some income. And he literally cannot. I don't know if he can get an American job and work remotely, if that makes sense, or any job, actually. So I don't know how that works. Who knows? But boy, did the daughter with her little tiny dog named Rolex come in with a big attitude. And Josh was not having it. Basically, we find out that when they were dating before they'd ever met, they kept breaking up and Lily kept breaking up with him. So he dated around on these apps and he was dating a girl from Vietnam, or she was Vietnamese. I don't know where she was from. And he put up a profile picture of him and the girl, and Lily saw it and said, "Who is that?" Y'all, the way this dog man lied and said, "She's an ex-girlfriend of mine and she's dead." Yeah. He literally, that's what they told him, and that was not the truth. The truth was he was dating around and he didn't want her to find out. And then he's like messing with the storyline. He's like, "Well, she was already dating someone else." And Lily's like, "No, I'm not. No, I was not. And now you're lying about me. And now I don't even know if I want to marry you." Big hot mess. The worst of it is, though, is Josh's brother is there uh, to help and to see where he's going to live in China and make his family feel like everything's okay. Thank you, Sephora. I appreciate it. And it's not going well. He's seen arguments every single day, and he's not even there to support Josh. I mean, he's basically like, "Josh, you are fighting with everyone at this table. You're fighting with your wife. You're fighting with her only child." And he's like, "Well," and he's like, "But you married her mom. Like, you can't be an asshole to her whenever you're the one that did cheat, and now you're lying about it." I was like, man, this is where it gets good. Thank you, Sephora says, "Please, everyone hit the like button. We're all here for our friend Sarah from Texas." Thank you, Sephora. I really appreciate that. I'll keep that up. Anyways, it was Interesantes, I like to say. Oh my gosh. Speaking of interessante, so last week, 2 girlfriends and I were getting together for dinner, I think I told y'all, and one had to cancel because they had a death in her husband's family. So they were just texting before we got ready and before I went live, and they were talking about which restaurant, redoing, rescheduling. And they mentioned the restaurant we were going to go to. And she said, well, why don't we try this one? Goodness grief. I looked at the prices. I didn't understand the food, and the prices it was like everything was like per whatever. It was like $8 per shrimp. And I'm like, I am not going to sit there and think about every shrimp being $8. I was like, I just texted her and I was like, I said, so cheap. I said, gulp, those prices are fancy. It's very proud of its food. I mean, I'm all for fancy, but I'm not even going to be with my husband. I mean, which in a good way is cheaper because it'll be just my bill, right? Oh my gosh. I don't think it's Greek. It looked like just eat one shrimp. Well, that's what I need to do because I've gained 30 pounds in the last year, but nope. We can we can saute our shrimp at home. That sounds hard, like sauteing shrimp. No, maybe you can. Butter. Wait, is butter saute? Oh, I can definitely put butter in a pan for darn sure. I can definitely do that. Okay, let's chat. Hold on. That was Jeff Lewis Extended. Let's chat Jeff Lewis Live, Beverly D'Angelo, and Joey Zalzig. I mean, she did look different. I don't know what it was about her. Have we ever figured out who the girl was and why standing next to Jeff Lewis in I call it a coffee picture, but they don't even go to coffee anymore. They never said who she was, but I feel like if it was the girl that answers the phones on Tuesdays when Oscar goes over and works at John Hill, why would she be in that picture? And why didn't they tag her in the picture? It was so confusing. Like, y'all are in the Jeff Lewis, the Sarah from Texas Facebook group, we were checking. Like, he didn't tag her. He doesn't say who it is. She definitely looks like, an internship or an intern or something. It might be the girl he was talking about that said, what is her name? That said she just went on Adderall and she's lost 20 pounds. I don't know. It was interesting. It's definitely not Naya. Somebody's tagged me in her Instagram before. Jeff said her Instagram. I've seen a picture of her. It's definitely not Naya. Who's the other people? Who do y'all think it is? Sasha. So she's been on a long time. So y'all think it's Sasha. So she must be the one that comes in when like Jameson is on vacation, right? Hey, Candace. Hey, Annette. Oh, Annette. Hello from Italy. She's here. She and her family are in Italy. Okay, so they talk about head sizes. Jeff is a big head. Jameson has a very small head. Then they start talking about that girl losing weight. And Beverly says when people lose weight, it's more, when people lose weight, they're shining through more, which I thought was a really nice way. Instead of telling someone, oh, you've lost weight, but just to say, you look extra beautiful, or I don't know, we all need to come up with some better ways because I think we all can get defensive if we've gained or lost weight. Like, you definitely don't tell someone, well, you've gained weight, but if you've lost weight, that's basically saying, look, I notice that you're thinner than you used to be, which nobody likes to be told, reminded that they used to be heavier, right? I don't figure she was though. I think she got a ride because I heard on the commercial breaks them talking about getting Beverly a driver, but I don't feel like they would put her driver in the thing. They definitely paid for a whatever. Wait, that's cheap, isn't it? 5 ice creams and 2 water bottles was 12 pounds. How many pounds is that in American dollars? I have no idea what that is. Is Italy expensive or cheap? I don't remember. I've only been there a couple years ago. Don't remember. Well, you know what? I actually do remember their pizza in all these shops were always homemade, even like the gas stations. It was crazy. Yeah, that's a great deal, she says. So yeah, maybe it is. Okay, the food is cheap. Oh, I love that. Love a cheap food because obviously the place my friends want to go to is not. But she started talking about when people gain weight. I was like, hello. She was like, there's usually a lot more stuff going on, like emotional, sadness, excitement, whatever, and I was like, oh, that's true. Like, I used to not think that I ate for emotional reasons, and now I think I do. But I don't know. Maybe I just love food. I don't know. I probably need a nutritionist, but is that really going to make me stop eating Count Chocula? I do not know. So Jeff tells us about the story of Maria, his housekeeper, scaring her this morning with this vampire first thing in the morning. I mean, even on a commercial, was it a commercial break? I think they were talking about this on yesterday's Jeff Lewis video, and he said something. It was Michael Hitchcock, and Michael was serious. Michael was like, you don't want her to fall back and hit her head on the concrete, like from getting scared. And Jeff said, well, wouldn't the concrete stop her fall? I'm like, dude, this is your housekeeper. Like, first of all, she's an employee. She's in your home. I don't know if she's older. I don't know what she is, but nobody wants to hurt anyone from scaring them, right? It's crazy. Yeah, Debbie says, sometimes the only thing I've got going on when I gain weight is because I love food. I mean, me too. I mean, all summer, all I did was go to these all-inclusive vacations. So I was definitely eating. I'm not a big drinker, but I definitely wanted to get my money's worth on the food, right? I mean, when it's there and somebody else is cooking and having it out for me, I definitely want to, whatever. I know that's my problem. Krista says, I love food, but it is small portion control. Feeling full and sick is awful. I hate being so sick after going to a restaurant. I do hate that. But I do try to eat it because I don't want to take food home to go. Yes, Liz in the V says all inclusive, honey. And that's why I need to find more chumpettes to hang out with and vacation with, because I love that y'all say that kind of stuff. It's so fun. By the way, I was just running an errand. I just donated some shoes to this place that takes, workout shoes. Anyways, I thought, oh, we haven't had like a Houston area meetup lately. So if you're in the Houston area or within driving distance and ever want to get together, I'm going to try to do something like every 3 months and put it on the calendar. Just put it on there, and just that way it's there. People can plan for it. A lot of times I'll ask people, they'll tell me they want to get together and then they don't come. So, it's a lot of talk. So don't tell me you want to come and then not show up, because that just makes me sad. It makes me feel like a big fat loser. Okay, let's talk Joey's drama. Wow. When he said best friend, I immediately thought of Eric, because he's actually been posting and tagging this best friend Eric for a while, ever since the breakup, for sure. Yes, for sure. Krista. And y'all should do this in other cities that you're in. I want other chumpettes to get together and meet each other. It's so much fun. I promise you. I mean, the conversation will be endless for sure. Okay, so Joey's drama is that he started dating a guy, which he's kind of alluded to. And when he does his Ask Me Anythings, people have asked him, are you dating? And he doesn't really say either way. So he's definitely letting people know, I'm not on the apps, whatever. So he goes away for the weekend. Well, that's big, right? Do you say Newport or Malibu? Somewhere fancy, somewhere nice. I'm sure the hotel was nice. That's not even the worst part. Okay, so his best friend, Eric, we don't know the guy's name. We're going to call him David, just like, Jeff said. Just call the guy David that he's dating. Okay, so the guy that Joey's dating is named David. His best friend in real life really is Eric, his best friend of 15 years. Eric was with Joey when he met David, so he knows him. He knows his Instagram, what have you. I don't know that Joey has ever tagged this guy. I'm assuming they're not necessarily in like tag moment right now. I think they're just kind of just dating and just getting to know each other, what have you. But they're on a weekend together, so that's pretty important. The best friend Eric DMs the guy, the David guy, and says, is this hotel not nice enough to post? So one might think, oh, he's really sticking up for Joey. Maybe Joey texted him and said, should I tag him? Should I not? I'm just all guessing all this. Maybe the guy said, don't tag me in this. And Joey sent his best friend Eric a note. Who knows? Maybe he just thought he would tag him and he's not at that level yet or didn't know if Joey wanted it. A lot of this is like playing mind games and not knowing, I don't want to do this because I don't know if the guy is ready for that. I want to tag him and make it a little more official, but I don't know if Joey wants that. Maybe they just haven't had that conversation, right? So, but then it's awkward with the guy David. So he says something to Joey and it gets awkward there. So Joey is telling his best friend Eric how wrong it was. And Eric doesn't understand at all, like, doesn't get the concept at all, doesn't seem to apologize, whatever. But the worst, it comes out that Eric hooked up with Brian, Joey's now ex-husband, while they were dating. So they had already had huge drama. Like, that's huge drama. Now, Joey doesn't claim to be perfect, and I don't exactly know in what situations he's trying to be like, well, no one's perfect, what have you. But he definitely said he made some mistakes with his husband, Brian. I mean, we all have, right? So I had no idea what that means, what those mistakes are, how serious they are, how inconsequent. Is that a word? Inconsequential? Look at me getting all fancy with my vocabulary. Oh my goodness. Um, but that's huge. Joey's like, yeah, but all I care about is somebody taking responsibility and apologizing. So he did that when he hooked up with Brian. I'm like, well, what about Brian hooking up with your best friend? I mean, I doubt Joey and Brian and Eric were all hanging out, like normal. Oh my gosh, it was a mess, but Beverly gave him really good advice. She really asked the right questions. She seemed very confused by like friend 1, friend 2, all of those things. But what did you think? Like, I feel like it then came out because Jeff was like, "Tell him what you did. Tell him what you did." So basically, he was going out to dinner with one of his best friends, Meredith Marks, and I think her son, maybe Brooks, I don't remember. And basically, he told the guy David, who he really likes, something like, yeah, I'm going, she wants to hook me up with some guy, or she wants me to meet this guy. And he really regretted it because, basically he's just trying to make the guy jealous or kind of get a feel for, are we exclusive? Are we dating other people? Is this okay for me to say? Like, I don't know. Deja Monet says Joey needs to drop or at least take a long break from Eric. He can't be trusted. He was definitely trying to start a conversation with the new guy. I mean, at what point? I mean, you might forgive someone, but you'll probably never forget that he had the potential and he followed through with hooking up with your boyfriend, with the guy that you were dating at the time. He never says when it happened either. Who did y'all think that Beverly was interrupting? I mean, it was a lot of conversation. Debbie Kate says, I think Joey lets a lot of things go because he does the same thing to his partners. I mean, maybe. I mean, even Beverly said, maybe things are different in y'all's world, but you know what I mean? Oh, thank you. Jody's Cooking One said, love your 90-day fiance chat. Thank you. Did you miss it already? Because we already chatted the other way. If you did, go back and listen as a replay for sure, but keep joining us for this one. Yes. What else? Jeff kind of mentioned it, which was interesting. I wonder if he had gotten that phone call and that phone call stayed on hold for Jeff Lewis Extended. So at the end of Jeff Lewis live, more people call in. She's kind of giving Beverly advice, Beverly is giving Joey advice, which I thought was really good. But somehow it comes up that Jeff doesn't like when people say shout out Shane, which he kind of put the stop on about a year ago and kind of asked people to stop doing it. But then a call, he takes it. He's like, let's just deal with this. And I'm like, oh my God, what's he going to deal with? You know what I mean? Thank you, Krista says, hit the like button. Where'd it go? Hit the like button, gang. Help our girl out. Thank you so much. It really does help to hit the thumbs up button, to subscribe, to comment. It all shows engagement and it makes YouTube or Facebook put out that content to other people that they know, like, celebrity news and reality TV and Jeff Lewis. So thank you. Okay, so this is the problem. It was too many people. Well, no, it wasn't. On the extended was supposed to be Doug Buden and Monica Casey, who have a huge history and a friendship. They've done a lot of group things with Jeff and, the other chumps. So I love when they're on together. but Jeff invited Beverly D'Angelo to come on. Well, that's all great, but Monica didn't talk for like the first 10 or 11 minutes. And then I feel like the only time she talked was like taking them in and out of commercial breaks. So it was kind of crazy. Um, I mean, I don't know if she just it was just too many people. Even when they bring on even when it's okay, so it was 2 of them, Doug and Monica, then Shane is always pretty quiet on Jeff Lewis Extended. Beverly D'Angelo, it was just a lot. I mean, Joey wasn't on for Extended, but it was a lot. So somebody brings up Al Pacino, which wasn't her husband, but they do have the twins together who are like 23-ish, I think. But don't forget, Al Pacino is also I don't know how many other kids he has, but he definitely has a toddler and he's like 80 something maybe. So she really had nothing bad to say. I guess he's got a book coming out maybe that's really good. She says she's read it, like they're really good friends. It's all good stuff. He's 84 years old and he has like a 1-year-old, which was weird because then I went down a tiny hole. He says he doesn't live with that child, but the son texts him from time to time. And I'm like, huh, now 1-year-olds are texting their daddy. Like, wow, so interesting. Like, was he voice texting? Like, so crazy. Thank you, Jody, for giving me a super sticker. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It was interesting, but she had nothing bad to say about him. I don't feel like I feel like she's a very positive, very spiritual, maybe like into crystals. I don't know. She seems a very calm, level-headed, practical. She would be perfect for a radio show. And I feel like she wants one. Like she has asked a couple of times. She said today when Jeff said that Tim Johnson, whichever the fake name is, he's going to be in the office tomorrow. And she's like, oh, maybe I'll come up and ask him for a radio show. And I was like, dude, I mean, after today, I just felt like it was so good for sure. Isn't Bill Maher? Oh, I don't know. Jet says, isn't Bill Maher now dating Al Pacino's 30-year-old baby mama? Wow. No idea. No earthly idea. Anyways, okay, so another call. So the caller that called in about wasting time, basically, Jeff said he just wants people to jump to the question. So I think now another caller, there were some good calls today. Another caller called in and said, look, just remember it this way. Jeff hates foreplay. So I feel like that's going to become like the tagline. And I think that'd be a really cute, like chump shirt. So, oh, my brain just went blank. The girl who does oh gosh, my brain literally just went blank. The girl who does the merch, Stacy, if you're watching, Jeff loves foreplay. I think would be, well, I guess it's Todd that makes the decisions on the merch. I don't know, but Jeff hates foreplay. I think would be a really cute, like mug, t-shirt. You know what I mean? Ew. Debbie says, yes, about Bill Moore. I thought she was his daughter. I mean, I've heard that a lot. Deja Monet says, I liked Extended more than the first hour. I love Beverly, but I don't think she should be on with someone if she isn't too familiar with, like Joey. She kept over talking him. Yeah, I do feel like there was a lot of talking, and she was whispering too. So that's what people were DMing me. Can you even hear her? And I was like, well, I hear her, but I just turn up the AirPod if I can't hear it. You know what I mean? Ew, Yvonne Gal had to ruin it for us all. All I can think about is his 80-year-old man parts. I mean, in all due respect to 80-year-olds and women, I don't want to think about it. La, la, la. I mean, a 30-year-old being like, yes, give me some of that. Mm-hmm. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Oh, then you are. I thought you were saying I thought you were saying your husband's 94. And I was about to say, wow. Yvonne Gal says, my husband is 10 years older than I am. So, yeah, but I thought you were saying he was 10 years older than Al Pacino. I was going back to Mimi says, what happened about Shout Out Shane? Basically, he doesn't want that to happen anymore. He wants to get through all the shows and keep in a timely manner. But I also feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's a little bit of sunshine taken away from Shane. You know what I mean? Like no one's saying shout out Jeff. It's kind of Shane's thing. Shout out Shane. I mean, I even bought a T-shirt that says shout out Shane. I mean, I think it's really cute, but I don't know. There was a little shade last week. Uh-oh, Michael says Jeff is jealous of Shane. Uh-oh. Is that what you mean? I feel like last week, Jeff made a little dig about Shane being late. He was like, look, if you're late, I'm going to leave you. And basically, they usually ride together everywhere. So that's basically saying, look, you were late. I wanted to get here. So today, when he also talked about Maria being 7 minutes late today, and he talked about it several times, and he was like, Shaney, you're the chief of, what do they call him? Chief of staff, whatever they call him, he's making Shane be the bad guy. He makes Shane, text about the schedules and about if they get in trouble, and have their reviews. So I don't know. I guess he is chief of staff, but I don't know if Shane should be doing that. I feel like Jeff's in control of everything, so it should be Jeff, or at the very least, both of them. I don't know. Oh, what does that mean, Tiffany? Jeff has sounded like a grandpa. Oh, wanting people to not say shout out Shane. Well, and I get it. The thing is, and Doug did a great job of defending the callers because it's true. Y'all know I've called in. A lot of you have called in. There is like a half second, 1 second delay. So a lot of times both people start talking and you don't know that the other person is talking because you don't hear it that way on the radio. But also, you're nervous. You've been waiting online for a while. Chief of staff, is that what it's called? But also, they don't mean to, they're compliment, but it does take up time. But a lot of people do. They're nervous, but they also want to say, hey, Jeff, I've been listening to you since flipping out. I went to your first show. I was the girl that got drunk and y'all talked about all the content. I'm one of your Black view listeners. I mean, a lot of people just want to give kind of a whatever about themselves before they get into the question. But I think Jeff does a much better job than Andy Cohen does. I mean, Andy Cohen lets callers know he's irritating with them. So I don't know. Krista says Shane is so hilarious. He's witty and funnier than Jeff. Jeff is threatened. I just thought Shane did such a good job of holding his own, not getting upset. I mean, I don't know. Wait, that was on extended, so we won't see the video. Darn it. Because I think I would have cringed. I would have been like, oh my God. First of all, my boss is humiliating me and berating me on national or worldwide radio. You know what I mean? Yeah. Jolyn Carter says, Jeff has no patience and it's really showing. Yeah. I mean, oh man, y'all are getting on him. Debbie says maybe Jeff needs to leave extended to the chumps and just leave if he's going to be crabby and controlling. I mean, it's all good. And honestly, I feel like a lot of people tell me when he kind of did that, the first segment of like 20 minutes, people would say, oh, I quit listening after Jeff and Shane would go. Well, then some days, it was rare, he would stay on the whole hour. I listened obviously every day from day one, but I definitely was telling people, look, I'm telling you, Jeff is a lot more relaxed himself, free flowing with the words on extended. And I still feel like he is. I definitely feel like a lot of people like the extended show than they do the Jeff Lewis live. Sarah Lee says, I wonder what Brogan thinks of Jeff and the way he controls Shane. Ooh, good question. But don't forget, I mean, Brogan grew up with money. He's got a great job. He obviously probably splits the rent, I'm assuming, because they were roommates before they were, boyfriend and boyfriend. Anyway, I don't think he's hurting for money, but don't forget, Brogan is on the good side of Jeff. He gets things paid for, like trips and weekends away. And did he go to Hawaii? Jeff is letting him go. I don't know if he went to Hawaii. I can't remember. But he's definitely been on several expensive weekends. He's gone to the Universal stuff, the Disneyland stuff. Like he gets to go to a lot of stuff. So that kind of might affect. I don't know. Michael Riley says, I'm sure Brogan has a lot to say to Shane behind closed doors. I mean, if nothing else, you got to realize it is a show. Jeff is who he is, and, I think he's paid really well. But Shane did say something yesterday. Who were they talking about? He said, "Oh, if he could keep one person or the other." Did he say Zoila or did he say Aurora? Somebody called him yesterday and said, if money was tight and you had to get rid of someone, would you get rid of Shane or Aurora? Which was awkward. I mean, Jeff was like, I don't know. And Shane said, I think you need to keep Aurora because I can find another job and she can't. But then Jeff kept reminding him, well, you weren't hired. You were only part-time at SiriusXM when I hired you. So it was kind of like this, right? It was kind of, thank you, Krista. Says, friends, please hit the thumbs up. Help our girl out. Thank you so much. Was kind of reminding him, look, I kind of saved you. Like you didn't have a full-time job. I don't know. She's Monroe's godmother. Oh, are you talking? Oh, you're talking about Jenny Poulos. Yes, Mimi says Shane is traveling in the same path as the right-hand girl that Jeff had, and I believe she's Monroe's godmother. Yes, Jenny Poulos, who started with him on Flipping Out. I can't remember the name of the godmother, and then the godfather is Chaz Dean, who he's back in good terms with. There was a slight moment when they weren't. Yes, Annette says Shane was so sweet to say that. I mean, but I think he meant it. I think it was also his way of saying, look, I'm 27. I can get another job. Like I've learned a lot. I'm chief of staff. Like I know people. People know me. I mean, people would love to have a Shane. They have to know how loyal he is, how he must keep secrets. I mean, how organized he is. Everyone that goes through him to book as a Jeff Lewis co-host or to do an event or a birthday party, whatever they do, dinners, they see how organized and how together it is, that things don't fall through. You know what I mean? So, ooh, and y'all got a lot of opinions today. Goodness grief. Jet says Shane is outgrown being Jeff's whipping boy. He's ready to move on to something on his own. I don't know. That makes me sad. Remember a year or two ago, out of the blue, Jeff was dating Chef Stu, and Chef Stu was probably coming over and, sitting on the couch with Jeff and Shane and Stu. I don't know. But Jeff on the radio, unbeknownst to Shane that he was going to say this, he basically said, look, you need to start staying at your apartment more. Like, I know I've set up this guest bedroom for you, but you're staying over 5, 6, 7 nights a week. It's not good. It's not good for our relationship. I mean, I was so like a lot of us, I got so many DMs that were like, oh my God, if he and Shane break up, I'm going to be devastated. I mean, it was crazy. We get so attached to these people, but also we start thinking of like Shane's 27. We think, oh my gosh, what if that was our child or our brother or our friend and he was let go? Yeah, I don't know. You get attached to the whatever. Oh, good question. I don't know. If he hasn't, I wonder why not. Rebecca says, I wonder if Shane has had a coffee reading from Pole. Does anyone remember if he has? Yes. You know what? And he went, I'm not sure exactly what his college degree was, but he did an internship at SiriusXM. So I think he ran the boards. I think he did kind of like what Jameson does for some show he was in New York working because that's where he went to college somewhere, but he was doing a show, I feel like for somewhere in LA, but I don't really remember. And that's how Jeff got him that's how Jeff hired him. Debbie says he'd be an excellent host of his own show. Shane is so talented. I don't know. I like him as a co-host. I like him interjecting more than I like him controlling the whole thing, but maybe he would. I guess I've just never heard him in that way. So I don't know. Michael Raleigh says no, because Pole would tell Jeff everything. Well, I think they sit there. I think they do everything together. So I don't even think it's an option. You know what I mean? Yes, Sephora says, I love Jeff Lewis, but to work for him, you have to give all your time to him, being on call 24/7. I had worked for people like him. And I think what Jeff thinks is I give all of myself. I work Saturday, I work Sunday. So if I'm willing to do it, I expect other people to do that alongside me. What's that saying? I wouldn't ask anyone to do something that I wouldn't do of myself. And he picks up on his own dog poop if needed. He, you know, I don't know if he goes to the store much. I think they did during the pandemic, but not really. Um, yeah. Oh gosh. Well, and Krista says Shane is Jeff's emotional spouse. I mean, yeah, but he's also his professional spouse. I mean, he's his hype guy. I mean, he's his shoulder to lean on. He's his, information, hey, how do you get this? How do you get directions? I mean, he's his person. I think Jeff likes to have people around him. He always has, but that's got to make you feel powerful and respected and successful that he's able to support all these people too. You know what I mean? Yeah, Debbie says but it's the Jeff Lewis show. It's his baby, not Shane's. Oh, I would never want Shane to take over Jeff Lewis live. And I also think I like Shane as a co-host. I don't like him as I don't see him as running his own show necessarily, for sure. Rebecca says Shane will eventually burn out. He works so hard for Jeff Lewis. Well, and I think there's a time and a place in someone's career. He does have the luxury of living with his boyfriend already because they were roommates before. That boyfriend is in the same industry-ish, so he understands that it's not necessarily Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 p.m. and never anything else. He understands that he's on a radio show. But they also don't have kids. And I think if they were married and have kids, I think a lot of people reevaluate their career path and how much time they're working just out of desire, but also, practical. There's only so much time in a day. And if you've got kids, you've got to deal with that. Okay. Other callers. Someone called and asked about Chevy Chase. Now, over the last year-ish, I would say there are a lot of people have talked about Chevy Chase and his terrible reputation. Beverly did not agree necessarily, but she definitely didn't disagree. She definitely said the rumors out there. She just kind of danced around it. Why somebody asked why he does that. And she's like, oh, I don't know why he would act like that. But she definitely didn't say, oh, I've never seen that. I've never experienced that. I've been on set with him. She definitely talked about all the projects they've done. So she clearly is willing to work with him, but she didn't exactly deny that there's something behind those rumors. They're definitely not said that for no reason, right? What do they call it when where there's what? There's what? Where there's smoke, there's fire. Yeah, for sure. Wait, what? Krista says we need to be careful. Jeff Lewis spies are listening. I mean, we're chatting about the show, so I think as fans, we can definitely chat about the show for sure, right? Uh-oh. Krista says Chevy Chase can do no wrong. He's part of the American lexicon. I don't know. I mean, I thought that about Ellen DeGeneres, and some really crappy stuff is coming out about her. So I don't know. That reminds me, I do want to watch her Netflix special. She apparently makes fun of it, and I think Andy Cohen said it was really good. Oh gosh, Debbie says Chevy Chase was a neighbor of a friend of my sister's. He was a jerk. When there's smoke, there's fire. So maybe so. What else? A caller. I love this caller. Like I said, there were so many good callers. We are going to have a few minutes to open up for general questions. So go ahead and get those going. Jeff, a caller calls in and reminds Jeff, look, I love you, but you're a piece of work. Like you're kind of blowing this. You just told us a week or two ago that you have this huge opportunity coming in like 30 to 45 days, and you can't get in any conflicts at all, private, public, but definitely no big conflicts. And you've said this about this person, you've done this, you've done this, you've done this. And he was like, oh, well, I mean, I'm trying my best. And I was just like, oh my gosh. I thought it was so funny. The caller, like I said, were really good today. Oh, good. Thank you, Sephora. Was it a documentary? No, I think it's her comedy special on Netflix, like, it's her. Is there a documentary about it, though? It wouldn't shock me. Cecily says, "I won't watch that Ellen documentary." But why? Tell me. Um, Krista says, "Chevy will always be worshipped just like Ellen, no matter the truth, not saying I agree." Yeah, and I guess I always think, like, why did they keep working for them so long? But, money talks, your career, being the idea of being blacklisted, the idea, like somebody mentioned Bill Cosby, right? Nobody said anything about Bill Cosby for the long decades because of the fear of him, and nobody would believe them. So it's awful for sure. Um, I loved the Ellen show. I thought she was so funny, so relatable, so whatever, but I guess I was bamboo. I don't know. Jet says, I never liked Ellen's show. It always read fake to me, licking the boots of celebrities and all fake Ellen. I just thought it was so fun. I loved when she scared people. I don't know. Michael Riley says, my friend knows Ellen. She's not very nice. And I guess, I mean, when I think about that, I think about, things that people can say about one person and somebody else loves them. I think about when a friend of mine recommends a doctor and they're like, oh my gosh, the bedside manner is so good. They're so nice. The office is so sweet. And then I go and I'm like, this is awful. Like I had a chiropractor one time that I thought every chiropractor was like that. Then I went to a different chiropractor after like 5 years, and they were so much more thorough, so much more patient, so much more informative and educational. They did more treatments on me. The other one just like, what do you call it? Like crack and go. Like literally, we're going to charge your insurance. We're going to pop your back for 3 minutes, maybe, and then you're going to leave. I love this chiropractor, so good. But when you don't know any different, you don't know they're not a bad doctor. I don't know why I'm comparing a person to a doctor, but you know what I'm saying? People can have different experiences because they don't know. Now, it's very different with a human because you know what's nice, you know what's mean, you know what's disrespectful, you know what's cruel, you know what's illegal or, awful. You know what I mean? That we know of. Krista says at least Ellen didn't SA anyone. Okay, we can barely say that word. Yes, Debbie. Oh, that was awful. I love the Ellen show too. Sarah was shocked and disappointed, really sick about Twitch. So I wasn't on TikTok during the pandemic, as y'all know, and that's when all of that went down. He and his wife and his kids posted a lot on TikTok and whatever. So I didn't really know him from that. I barely knew of him as like the DJ, the fun guy from the Ellen show, but I also didn't get to watch the Ellen show a ton. You know what I mean? So, but once I learned that, what they were going through, and yet he was still posting on TikTok and he just looked so friendly and fun loving. You know what I mean? Oh, wow. Christina says Kevin Hart was saying things about Cosby long before Cosby was caught. Wow. I think a lot of people in Hollywood hear rumors and they have experience, but they're like, don't say anything. I don't want to get blacklisted. I mean, I think that happens in corporations where someone is treated badly, but they don't want to never get a job again. And I think that's getting better, but I think it's very similar. That was also Bravo and Stone says after her sitcom Ellen was over, I lost interest in her. But also she was almost, if not the very first female to come out as gay and be accepted or call it accepted. Maybe she wasn't, but to make it normal to be on a sitcom as a lesbian. So that was amazing. Yeah, that's true, Mayboo. Like grandmas can get really crotchety in their old age. Mayboo says it's like when you grow up and find out that family members are jerks, not as sweet as you thought when you were a kid. Yeah, when your mom starts telling you, oh, your uncle did this, your aunt did this, your cousin did that, and you're like, oh, I never knew any of that. Anyways, well, we are going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining live. It is so much fun. I love us getting comfy in comments. I love the idea of us all having our own city and each chumpettes, all the chumpettes getting together. So make sure you join the Sarah from Texas Facebook group, and especially make sure you hit subscribe, follow, do a 5-star rating and review anywhere you get your podcast. It's Sarah from Texas. I would really, really, really appreciate it. And I will see you same place, same time tomorrow. And I got to figure out what I'm going to wear to dinner tonight because I'm going to a fun, like a group birthday dinner. So that will be so fun. And y'all know I love when other people cook for me, right? Okay. See y'all tomorrow, chumpettes. Bye-bye.